This is relating to, I'm going to go ahead and announce what the agenda item is, and then we can go back to it as a point of discussion. So this is not where we're at in the agenda, but the citizens communication is coming in to provide input and thoughts relating to agenda item B1, which is a non-consent item, presentation, discussion, and possible action regarding a recommendation to the Parks and Recreation Department Director to approve the Central Williamson Creek Greenway Vision Plan. With that, go ahead and start off with the first speaker. You have 3 minutes.
Steve Prather, are you on the line? And if you can unmute yourself. Mr. Prather?
Hello.
Hi, your
Yes.
3 minutes will begin.
Thank you. Good evening, board members. My name is Steve Prather. I live on Williamson Creek in the South Menchaca neighborhood, and except for a couple of community gardens in this area, there's very little in the way of usable park space. This vision plan that you're considering tonight is many years overdue. It was called for in the 2005 South Congress Combined Neighborhood Plan, and again in 2014 in the South Austin Combined Neighborhood Plan after much public input. So this is a park deficient part of South Austin. I feel that parents who live on St. Elmo shouldn't have to get in their car and drive their kids up to Travis Heights to find a functional park. I'm excited that we now have an outline for changing that, a way forward for enhancing and preserving this great resource, this creek corridor, and the open space lots that have been sometimes neglected and underfunded. And I want to conclude by thanking everyone who was involved in the development of this plan. My friends and neighbors who came to the meetings, online meetings, made comments and suggestions. Also the landscape architects, community powered workshop, and staff from Parks Department and Watershed Protection. I doubt if anyone in my neighborhood came away with everything they wanted, but if there's not some give and take and compromise, we would never be able to create a park or greenbelt in Austin. So thank you, board members, for your time, and I urge your support for this greatly needed park plan for South Austin.
Muted.
So what's that? Thank you. I was saying thank you, Mr. Prather, for sending the email to the board. We really appreciate it, along with the sentiments expressed. And with that, is there another speaker, Sammy, under item B1?
Yes, Vice Chair, and this one has a photo slideshow, so just bear with us for a second while we get that uploaded. And then Mr. Larry Murphy, if you want to let us know if you're on the line and give us 2 seconds, we'll get your photos pulled up.
Hey, everyone, Larry Murphy here. Can you hear me?
Mr. Murphy, give us just a second before you start your comments so we can get the timer going.
And thank you for sending the link earlier relating to these photos.
Give us just a second. It's taken a minute with all of the photos.
10-4, standing by.
Mr. Murphy, we are ready. We'll just end up advancing the slides because we couldn't get the slideshow function to work. So if you are ready to begin, we will start the timer here at City Hall. Thank you for your patience.
Yes, Larry Murphy here. Thank you, Parks Board members. Thank you, community members. Hey, thank you, Malcolm. I was present at a couple of those Country Club Creek cleanups. So thank you, Malcolm, for all that you've done. Country Club Creek is a resource. Now that we got the Parks Board on, we need to fix that situation over there at Country Club Creek. And we need to, hello, and we need a bridge back. I mean, we've had access now. I had lack of access for 8 or 9 years over there at Roy Guerrero Park. But thank you all for what we do. And I'd also like to thank Community Powered Workshop for a very nice slideshow presentation, some very nice photos, highly marketable vision plan. That being said, it is entirely based in virtuality. We did not really have authentic public engagement, public input. We didn't really include all of our public engagement and the work of our community, as Steve Prather referenced, going back to the combined South Austin combined neighborhood planning process, going back to advocacy within the Bicycle Advisory Council and the Bicycle Master Plan for Williamson Creek Greenbelt. Our vision from our community that's been referenced by many people multiple times is a connected trail, a natural surface trail, or perhaps a native mulch surface trail that connects Williamson Creek, that possibility from the Y and Oak Hill through South Austin down to our state park in our urban area, McKinney Falls State Park, and on through Del Valley and through the county park to our Colorado River and beyond. This trail in the Greenbelt somehow got confused and wrapped into a greenway vision process by landscape architects in a community-powered workshop. And the interesting thing is, these people aren't from our community, and they don't really know Williamson Creek. So rather than deal on the slick pictures and the slick presentations, my pictures focus on the actual reality right now of our Williamson Creek. If you notice these pictures, it's discouraging. There's some stolen bicycles going by right now. That bike was stolen from LA Fitness on South Lamar. Next day, I photographed it in these camps. There's some of the trash. You see that? That is how our Watershed Protection Department has left Williamson Creek. There's an open air latrine right there on the creek. There's toilet paper and human feces, pecan trees defaced. Where I'm going with that is I've been a longtime community advocate, father, parent, raised my children here, born here, lifelong Texas Parks and Wildlife employee, worked for City of Austin. Nature trails, and public access is what I believe in. My child, Noah, used Williamson Creek to safely get to small middle school because of increasing pressure, gentrification, and redevelopment pressure in our area of South Austin. Our schools have collapsed from Austin Independent School District from lack of planning, from lack of coordinating with the City of Austin that cared for the community, no care for the community that actually lives here, right? We've been neglected and harassed by the Watershed Protection
We
Department.
appreciate it. You've hit you just went a little over three minutes.
Okay, but where I'm going with this, we want a natural surface trail. We want our creek cleaned up. We don't want, we want mountains. I mean, we want bicycle trails for our people. We need a clean creek.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
I'm going to oppose the plan. Thank you.
All right. Sammy, do we have the next speaker?
We sure do. Jessica Sager is on the line. Jessica, if you'll unmute yourself, and we'll start the timer here at City Hall.
Okay, well, thank you. My name is Jessica Sager. Thank you for letting us speak about this plan. I am the founder of Heartwood Community Garden. I back up into Williamson Creek also and founded the first community garden on 25-year watershed property. And I'm speaking up in support of the vision plan and the community work that we did to engage the community. I live in my Heartwood area. I personally put out lots of flyers directing people to join, to get input, we had pop-ups at the community garden, and on behalf of the whole working group did a lot to engage the community and get their input. And absolutely, we can't get like, I would love a lot of things, and I would love a natural trail. So not that I don't want that, but I think that this vision plan is a really great step in showing what our vision is for this area. As Steve said, that, you know, it's really park efficient part of South Austin, and that this is greatly needed in our area. So asking for your support of this vision plan. It was really well facilitated for a long-term community engagement process during very treacherous times, you know, very trying times of COVID. And so it does take in a lot of input from community members and community members with lots of different ideas. So we've created a really beautiful piece, and I think that there's a lot of potential for our space because of this plan. So I hope you support it. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Ms. Sager. All right, do we have any more speakers?
Yes, we have two more. Anna Patala, are you on the line? Anna Patala?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Your 3 minutes will start right now.
Okay, good evening, board members. My name is Anna Patala, and I'm a native Austinite and have lived in the Southwood neighborhood for over 20 years and South Austin for over 50 years. I'm a member of the Williamson Creek Working Group and had high hopes for this project in the beginning. I've shared a YouTube video with the board that exemplifies my neighbors' sentiments about our beloved Williamson Creek. As you can hear in the video, everyone shared their love of its natural state. I've recently heard from multiple neighbors that feel that they should surrender to majority rule and feel outvoted in the direction that this master plan has taken. This is a false reality because this outreach failed. This is where I failed as a member of the working group, and where the professionals community-powered workshop failed our working group. The majority of the neighbors that will be directly affected by this master plan were never contacted. Community Powered Workshop published in the May 20th newsletter the quantity of comments and votes. These numbers are misleading. What is missing from these statements is the actual number of people who participated, not the number of comments. I would like the board to ask Community Powered Workshop how many actual neighbors participated in total, not how many times one person commented, not how many times one person attended, not how many times one person voted. I guarantee you it is nowhere close to the number of residents, which is 31,400 in the 2010 census tracts that touch the scope of this master plan. I would like for you to do the numbers based on their answer to determine the percentage of neighbors who were contacted and much less engaged in this process. I joined this working group with little experience in community engagement and depended on Community Powered Workshop to lead us, to train us, and to share how to engage the community. We failed this task. Our working group was given the task of putting out door hangers, but not nearly enough to make a dent in our neighborhood. We never sent out postcards to the neighbors in the surrounding neighborhoods. We never contacted the American Statement. We never contacted the Chronicle. We never contacted the local news stations. The only mail out I'm aware of happened on Friday, April 22nd, to churches, apartment complexes, and some community groups, with an invitation to the Thursday, April 29th last Zoom community engagement. Mind you, the churches would have received it too late to share with their congregations. Then the Zoom meeting was canceled, citing safety in a virtual meeting, despite the fact that if there were any issues, the mute button could have been used and people could have been kicked out of the Zoom call. Only the neighbors that had signed up for the canceled meeting were ever reached out to again for an intimate private Zoom makeup meeting by Community Powered Workshop. I'd like to bring you back to the animation that I shared with you. My neighbors cherish the wild nature of our creek and, to quote, the sanctity of my backyard. This master plan turning our green belt into a greenway does not reflect what our neighbors cherish. If their voices had been heard, this master plan would have looked very different. It saddens me, but I can no longer support this master plan as it is written without the voices of my neighbors. It does not reflect the good stewardship that South Austin is built on.
Thank you. All right, and then we'll hear from our last speaker.
Yes, Vice Chair. Mary Olmsted is on the line. She will be addressing you as an individual registered speaker. And I believe that she wants to share a video, so give us 2 seconds to pull up that video. And it does run 18 seconds over. We're trying to get that as close to 3 minutes as possible. Mary, if you have any comments that you want to make, please go ahead and unmute yourself. If not, we will just start the video.
Okay, first of all, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I asked to use my 3 minutes to show this animated video that was put together for the Williamson Creek Working Group Vision Plan. Many of us felt it was the jewel in the vision plan because it really reflects the love and the warmth that the community feels for our creek. So we did make a lot of mistakes along the way. We did the best job we could given the information we had. Outreach wasn't quite enough, but please enjoy this video. The love of the community shines through in it. Thank you.
Hello. Well, I've been living on Williamson Creek for almost 40 years. I've always enjoyed birds. My father was a birder. My grandmother, she knew her birds. When I see something and I don't know what it is, I try to figure out what it is. We have plenty of critters out back.
Williamson Creek runs in a west to east direction, so essentially we have a highway for wildlife.
It's like having a little park in the city, like a little state park in the middle of the city, you know.
Behind my house, we fished down there as kids, where you could jump off the rocks into the water.
We would dog paddle in the rapids when we had a good rain, and I'd be looking at my brother, his head sticking up, and I'd be, it was kind of fun.
I lived in that creek as a child. All the kids on the block did. And pretty much starting directly after they put in the sewage system, our creek completely died.
At that time, it was just full of trash.
Washing machine parts, bicycle parts, tires.
The stolen vehicles and appliances that had been thrown in the creek over the years had all formed a dam. Well, that snapped. Hurricane came through Austin, and a wall of water came high enough up to flood the houses.
And so someone organized a clean sweep creek cleanup.
That was the start of trying to make it look like a creek again. Improving any park is just a matter of involving your neighbors. And we got 2 tons worth of trash out of the creek.
After that initial cleanup, you start to notice the birds, and then you're noticing coyotes, and we've seen eagles,
Chickadees and titmice and cardinals.
great blue herons, lesser blue herons, green herons.
Did I say blue jays?
Not to mention the turtles.
Getting wise to the fact that there's need for natural surroundings. You know, what is it that our neighborhood wants?
There's no question on nice days, we would certainly take the students down there and a couple acoustic guitars and go and use it more. I actually am probably overdue for a walk down there.
A place where I safely felt like I could say, hey boys, go run 2 laps before you come back for dinner.
It's a treasure running through South Austin, and we're hoping more people will become aware of it and love on it and use it.
Oh, I've been doing it for 30 years. Like, you know, I wouldn't mind dying down the creek one day. Not no time soon, but
Not anytime soon.
no, but yeah, it's God love it, man.
The sanctity of my backyard.
To me, that's
Yeah, it's time, Chair.
Thank you. All right, Chair, I don't believe we have any further individuals for citizens communication.